Hey, Vinkman, I finished the car. Do you want to take a look?
Yeah, okay, Ray, let's check it out.
It's right over there. What do you think?
Huh. Wow, Ray, the car looks really great.
Oh, yeah? Well, watch this. Ectotron, transform.
Ectotron reporting for duty, Dr. Venkman. You really went above and beyond this time, Ray. Welcome to the 16th episode of Creed's Modern Mondays and the return of the 4 weeks of Halloween. I am your host, Creed, and today we're taking a look at Ectotron from the 2019 Transformers toy line by Hasbro.
And right off the bat, take a look at this beautiful retro packaging. This is gorgeous. It looks like it jumped right off the toy shelf in 1984. I am in love with this packaging. Plus, it's got a lot of fun details, like up here on the S of the Transformers, you can see slime dripping down. That's pretty cool. And also the artwork on Ectotron here on the front is incredible. I really like how he looks, super old school and excellent. Of course, in the box you get Ectotron himself, and he also includes a little Slimer. Here on the back of the box you can see incredibly old school 1984 Transformers art that looks fantastic. He also has an old school file card down here, which you can pause and check out right now. But I do want to point out that he is a 10 in ghost trapping and only a 7 in ghost busting. And I feel like that's a nod to the game from the 80s because you could put a ghost trap right on the car. The side panel has the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters and some nice artwork of the Ectotron, and it's got the exact same thing on the other side. But you know what? It's time to cut this guy open. I want to get him out of the box. You don't even know how bad I want to open this one. But it is a nice change of pace to have one I can put back in the box when I'm done. And there he is, Ectotron. All right, let's go ahead and get him off the tray. All right, it goes without saying that this is one of the most amazing vehicle forms I have ever seen on any Transformer, ever. From the Cadillac symbol and the grille to the white walls, this thing screams quality reproduction. It looks pretty much perfect. From the driver's side here, you can see the scale is excellent. And even though I've already pointed them out, the tires look great, along with the fins and all the details here in the back. The Ghostbuster symbol looks crisp, and in general, I love this vehicle mode. I feel like if you didn't know this was a Transformer, you'd have a pretty hard time telling that it was. It's just that good. Here on the passenger side, you can see the ladder that goes up to all their gear on top. And I always wondered if this could shoot a proton stream or not. It seems like it should be able to. Now we're going to do a quick roll test with Ectotron, so I'll grab him here and push him forward. And that was pretty good. All right, let's try it again. Yeah, this thing rolls fantastically. I'm going to give him a thumbs up. One of the best rolling toys I've seen in a while. All right, now it's time to transform Ectotron into his robot mode, which I've never done, so bear with me. You start by taking all the stuff off the top, so his gun pops off the side. Then you disconnect the blue hose right here, and then a couple other little spots up the side of the car. Then you want to turn it around, take the antenna, and unplug it from the fender right here. Now you're going to reach back here and take the ladder completely off. So it pops off the top and then it pops off the side of the Ecto-1. At this point, you want to take the entire top of the car and take it off. It's pegged in, so it's kind of hard to remove at first, but generally it'll pop right off. Then we can go ahead and take all this stuff out of the way because we'll get to it later. Now you want to take the doors and pull them down, and then they hinge up over around the top. So they actually go up over the windows towards the roof of the car, and you want to do this on both sides, of course. Once the doors are in place, you want to go ahead and turn it around and unfold his feet. They're right here. And then you want to unfold his shins as well. So these fold down. And then once you do that, you take his entire leg and you basically fold it down and out. That makes his kneecap. Do that on both sides, and then you just close his shins back up by snapping them into place. On the back of his feet here, you grab the doors to the trunk and you fold them out, and that makes it where he has heels. It's important because he's kind of back heavy. Then you take the front of the car, you pull it open till it's like a T. Then you want to grab his arms and swivel them forward, and then fold his forearms down. At this point, you can fold out his hands by grabbing them and twisting them out of his forearms. And then here at the top of the fender, there's a button you're going to push in. And when you push that in, it clicks the wheel down and allows you to turn the front fender forward. Once you do that on both sides, there is a spot here in his chest and it folds down, and that reveals his head, which you simply flip up, and then you close up his chest, and there you go. You have transformed Ectotron into robot mode. But we're not finished yet. Now we have to transform his proton pack by taking the roof of the car, and we are going to fold the bottom down and around. And before we fold it all the way in, we're going to grab this red piece, and it's going to fold flat. Then this flips over. The antenna plugs into the bottom of the disc here. And then you simply peg that piece down like so. After that, you take the blue hose and plug it into the back of the gun or the neutrino wand, and there you have it. You've got a functioning proton pack transformed from the roof of the Ecto-1. This tab right here allows you to plug the proton pack into his back, and it's pretty easy. You just clip it right in. Then, of course, you take the neutrino wand and put it into his hand, and there you go. Now you have a fully transformed Ectotron, ready to bust some ghosts. It's pretty rare for a Transformer to have an equally good robot and vehicle mode, but Ectotron is just that. He's fantastic in both modes. I mean, look at this guy. He's incredibly articulated, he looks fantastic, and overall the design team really did a great job. I mean, kudos to them, because they must really love Ghostbusters as well as Transformers. Probably my only complaint is his goggles should flip up, but unfortunately they do not. They're always down. Those are image intensifiers for finding ghosts, and Ray wears them in the first Ghostbusters movie. Also, you can see his name tag here on the front of his shirt, Ectotron, and the fact that he has the khaki color scheme, just like the Ghostbusters. The front grille being up here on the shoulders looks excellent, and it's also well designed because it doesn't get in the way of his movement. So he has a shoulder joint here, but also the entire shoulder joint can move here. Pretty nice. Ectotron's hands are also pretty well detailed with segmented fingers, and they're both designed to hold his neutrino wand. And his belt has a nice shiny silver finish to it, which looks pretty sweet. As we come down to Ectotron's legs, you can see more silver accents here on his feet. You can see the caddy wheels here. I kind of like that. Normally I'd want them to fold up, but that's pretty cool. And then also the vents here are a nice touch as well. Now it's time to take a look at the articulation on Ectotron. His feet can move up and down, so if he gets impatient, he can tap his foot, which I think is pretty fun. His knee has a 90-degree bend back. Here at the thigh, he has a swivel, which is nice. And then at the hip, he has basically a ball joint, which allows a lot of movement. Here at the shoulder, he has a joint that can move all the way out there. Then he has another one underneath that can move out there. Then he has a bend on his upper arm right there. It's kind of hard to see. Then he has a swivel point. Then he has another bend here at the forearm. Then his hands can move in and out because of the transformation. And then finally, his head is a ball joint, so he can look down and up and left and right. And that's it. That covers all 21 points of articulation for Ectotron. That's a lot for a Transformer. All right, it's accessory time, and this is the ladder made out of very flexible rubber that goes on the outside of Ectotron. There's no spot for it when he transforms to a robot, but I figured one out. Back here on his back, under the proton pack, there's two pegs. You can take this rubber ladder and stick it right in there. It pegs in perfectly. It doesn't get in the way of the pack. And when you turn him around, you can see a little bit of black hanging down there, but it just looks like his hips to me. That's a great spot to hide it. Not even in the instructions. You're welcome. Ectotron's second accessory is his proton pack, and it was a great idea to make all the stuff on the roof turn into this. As you can see, the neutrino wand can plug into it and be unplugged, which is pretty cool. It's just like the Ghostbusters packs, and I think this is a real win. Once again, great job on this design team. Slimer is Ectotron's third accessory, and I love this guy. He's translucent and he looks amazing. He's soft rubber, and other than the fact that some of his details aren't painted, I think this is one of the best Slimer toys ever made. Not to mention the fact that it is pretty much exactly to scale for real Ghostbusters, so I love this guy quite a bit. Before we move on, here's a quick look at Ectotron's instructions. There's not much to them, but the first page did have some cool stuff like his base of operations being New York, his equipment being a proton pack, and his disguise being the Ecto-1. The rest of it is pretty much just step-by-step instructions on how to transform him, and then the backside is how to transform the proton pack. Alright, it's size comparison time, and here's Ectotron with the original real Ghostbusters. You think I would have compared him with other Transformers, but I did not. Instead, here's another size comparison with the OG Ecto-1, and it really shows you how stylized that version is. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's Modern Monday on Ectotron from the 2019 Transformers toy line by Hasbro. I didn't pick this up in 2019 because between you and me, I thought the price on it was a bit steep. So I waited for a really long time, and I recently picked it up on eBay for far less than the retail. I'm not sure how I got so lucky, but I did. As a Ghostbusters fan and a fan of Transformers, I can honestly say this is one of the greatest toys I've ever seen, and I highly recommend it if you don't have one. And with that ends the 7th episode
Of the return of the 4 weeks of Halloween.
There's only one episode left coming up this Wednesday on KREED'S Collection, where of course we'll be taking a look at yet another spooky vintage toy. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up and please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would certainly appreciate it. It would help my channel grow. I have 2 toy shows I do every week, KREED'S Modern Monday, where we look at modern toys, and KREED'S Collection, where we take a look at a toy from my vintage collection. I hope to see you this Wednesday for the finale of
The return of the 4 weeks of Halloween.